Hey everybody and welcome to the bullshit party. And as you can see, somebody just won the podium vehicle, which is the PR4. So in this one, we're gonna take a closer look at it, see what customization options it has, and basically how it performs on the road. But my penthouse garage was full when we first won the vehicle, so we first need to get to it. And I don't think there's a better way to get to the F1 car with a, you guessed it, F1 car. And before you ask, no, this is not the R88 that was on the podium a couple of months ago, this is in fact the PR4. It's my own PR4 that I won again from the podium, but a couple of months ago. And with the first crash telling us what we can expect for the rest of the video, we are off to get the car. As you can see, this PR4 is matte black, very boring, so the new one is gonna be more vibrant and cool looking. And that's all thanks to you guys. You guys suggested this week's podium vehicle color. And just so I don't forget to remind you later, please leave a comment with the color you want me to put in the poll for next week's podium vehicle. As you can see, even though I've had the car for almost, 8-9 months, I still can't drive it. So at this point, I think I should just admit that it's not the car's fault, but I just can't drive. Something to tell you on the way for us to pick up the new PR4 is that the car feels very jumpy. And what I mean by that is, as you can see, it's very low to the ground, so every bump in the road, every imperfection in the surface you're driving on is gonna make a difference on the traction. And clearly this guy is going to the same driving instructor as I am, but regardless of that, let's go in and take a look at our new car. And as you can see here, we have a lot of cars, some are podium, some are bought, but the main event now is the PR4 over here. So let's get into that. And let's go to Los Santos Customs to see how we can customize it. And also max out its performance, because after all, it is an F1 car. I'm sorry, an open wheel car. And before we get going to Los Santos Customs, which is right around the block, let's see how interactive the car is. If you've watched my videos before, you know what I mean by that. It's the amount of things you can open and close on the car with the interactivity menu. And on this car you can't open anything, 0 out of 10, and the review now. No, but in seriousness, I'm not disappointed by that. It is an F1 open wheels car after all. And look, you can turn on and off the backlight, which serves as the brake light as well. There is one just game-breaking disadvantage that this car has, but we're gonna talk about it as soon as we leave Los Santos Customs. Now, listen to the car for a couple of seconds. The best way I can describe the sound is very F1 sounding, which is perfect. From the crackles to the pops, everything sounds just right. Now let's go in and customize this bad boy. And as always, we're gonna take care of upgrading the performance options first and then customizing the car. But stupid here misread bodywork, so yeah. Anyway, as I was saying before, even though I've had this car before, I don't really remember the customization options on it. I just remember making it matte black because I thought that was the best color for it. And we're finally ready to customize the car. The bodywork options basically determine how visible the inners of the car are gonna be. To be honest, I would have loved to see a completely naked car. You still have the option to remove all the panels from your F1 car, but you need to crash it a lot before doing so. I think an option to have them removed already would have been nice, but hey, what do I know? And as far as the exhaust options go, I'm actually pretty happy with them, even though there are only two. I don't know if you can see it, but two turbos did appear on the pipe just beneath the panel. We are gonna go through all the livery options, even though I'm not gonna put any livery on it. This is me just showcasing what's available out there. And by the way, I'm not gonna put livery on it because we are gonna put a specific color on the car. This is from a poll that I did a couple of days ago, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. For now, we have a sort of customized car with a fresh look. The spoiler options are a lot, most of them look pretty much the same, but my thinking here was bigger is gonna be better, so I went with the biggest one that I could find. And after we are done with the spoiler, we're gonna go to the wheels and customize those. My biggest problem with the stock wheels is, and I understand why they did it, is that you can't change their color. This is a pet peeve of mine for all GTA cars, but that's a story for another time. For now, I just want to choose some rims that I really like that I can then customize with probably the secondary color that we're gonna choose. And next up we have the window tint. And as you guys know, I always go with the light smoke option. Always. Oops. And surprising me at the bottom of the menu is the windshield option. As I said, it's been a minute since I did this for my first PR4. And I think all of them look pretty good, but I'm just gonna go with the option that I think that will go good with the Fister Pink that I secretly put in the poll, hoping that it will win. Wait, who said that? I'm sorry guys, I'm experiencing some technical difficulties. My mic's acting up. Anyway, I have to thank almost 3,000 of you for voting on the color for the poll. Honestly, it's blowing my mind that 3,000 people voted on the color. And the color that more than half of you voted for is Heists Purple. Well, it's hard for me to hide my disappointment that it's not pink this time, but oh well. I guess destroying one of my favorite childhood cars with pink was more than enough. For reference, that was the GP1. And as we're going through all the colors that this car actually looks very good in, I'd like to ask you to like the video if you're enjoying it, that is. And if you're not yet a subscriber, make sure you hit the subscribe button, a lot more cool content to come in the future. And almost as if I timed this, we are at Heists Purple. I gotta say, the car doesn't look bad, definitely looks better than my matte black other PR4. So it's time for me to ugly it up with the pearl scent. And as I'm choosing the pearl scent for this one and the secondary color, I want to remind you to put in your comments with the color you want to see in the poll for next week. It can be only a primary color, or it can be a primary color plus a pearl scent. Or primary, secondary, and a pearl scent, primary, secondary, you guys choose. And I'm gonna put the top 5 suggestions that have the most votes in the poll next week. Now let's watch me make the secondary color pink. No. It's definitely not gonna be pink, but it's not gonna be anything drastic. I want this car to actually look good this time. So in order to do that, I'm gonna put a paper bag on my character's head. There's too much face there. Blue is definitely something that I think goes well with red or purple, so I chose blue as the secondary color. But not just regular old boring blue, but harbor blue. And the last thing before you leave Los Santos Customs and go on the streets and burn some rubber is to, well, choose the rims that are gonna hold the rubber. Or choose their color, I should say. Now going with something white, red, yellow, green, purple would have been cool, but it wouldn't match the rest of the car. So for this one, we're gonna go with the very conservative looking alloy wheels. And with the alloy wheels in place, thank you, we're ready to choose a tire design. And since we're looking at a purple, well, let's face it, F1 car, I think Fukaru Red is the perfect tire design. And with that, we're finally ready to leave Los Santos Customs and go rip the streets apart. And oh, how appropriate that the sun's going down as I'm leaving Los Santos Customs. Remember that teeny, almost game-breaking problem that I told you about the PR4? Well, it doesn't really have, headlights. So it is completely useless in the dark. That said, if you have light, you can do this. As you can see, it has tremendous acceleration, and if you ever decide to slow down, well, just incredible. This is by far the best accelerating car with the best brakes I've ever seen in the game. Which probably shouldn't come as a surprise, but, well, there we go. The challenge that the missing headlights present is, well, it's a substantial one. But another major disadvantage that this car has is that you can't shoot from it. You can't even give people the bird. And of course, it goes without saying, it's one person only. So if you're looking to play with a buddy, well, I guess this car isn't for you. But aside from that, aside from the no headlights thing, aside from the fact that the car becomes extremely jumpy and unresponsive after you go after the smallest pothole or bump or just any imperfection in the road, I would still give it a thumbs up. It's an open wheels car, F1 car. And for the asking price of about 2.5 million, it's actually worth it. But if you have the chance to get it for free, which is this week the video was published, well, it's a no-brainer. I just love to crash into things. And as I come to this weird dark-looking place, I'm left wondering, why am I here and what is there for me to do here? Who knows? Maybe that's a story for another video. In conclusion, the PR4 is extremely good, especially if you're getting it for free from the Lucky Wheel. And as I'm left wondering, what is there for me to do here? I think it's time to end the video. Thank you so much for everybody who watched, hopefully you liked the video, and if you did, please consider leaving it a like. If you're not a subscriber, make sure you subscribe, a lot of cool stuff to come in the future. And I'll catch you in the next one.